Hey and welcome to this edition of Out of the Box. I'm Paul Sillers. As you know, in these we look at what you get in the box. It's not meant to be a technical overview, it's meant to just show you the components and all the items that you get with inside the box and what the product actually looks like, because there's plenty of stock images, plenty of static photos, but actually seeing what the product looks and feels like is always helpful. So today we're going to be looking at the Sonic Wall NSA 3600. I've already taken a little bit out of the box because it's a fairly big box, about 8 kilos or so in weight. So it's easier than me trying to unpack it on screen. So we'll get to the unit in a minute, but I'm just going to show you a few of the items. We'll open up this first. So it is a pretty heavy unit, as I've mentioned, and as a result, it won't just hold itself on its rack ears at the front. Many devices try to, but they always then sag at the back of your rack. So in here, you're going to get a full set of rack rails. These are very similar if you've ever built or bought super micro chassis. These are very, very similar in design. Just open one of these up for you. Give you a quick look of what you get. It's in 2 components. I'll just drop a couple of these bits of packing on the floor. Okay, so here's your rack rail. Hopefully you've got enough space there. Back and front of the rack there for you. Ears on the side, and then obviously you've got your slider that's going to fit and be screwed to the side of your Sonic Wall, allow you to pull that nice and cleanly in and out of the rack. So first couple of components, complete set of rack rails. Is point to note, on Sonic Walls you generally only get an American power lead, so do make sure your supplier sends you the correct one. It's an IEC connector, so it looks like that, and this is actually the Australian one, so just to show you there, the Australian. So do make sure that they send you the correct cable with it. You then get a small little pack of items in here. As I mentioned, American power cable. You're going to get probably a couple of meter patch lead. You're going to get a nice, I won't call it an Allen key because it's not, it's a star configuration. Can't remember what those are called, but that'll help you do some of the config that you need, or some of the manual bits you need in the rack. And you're going to get a console cable. So it's interesting, the Sonic Walls have a certain amount of features that can be done through the console, but they still provide you with an RS-232 console cable. So you're still going to need a USB to RS-232 cable, converter if you're going to want to use that, and then you're just going to get your normal safety information guide that you're probably going to dispose of, and you're getting started guide, which again will just going to help you find the initial configuration information to get yourself going. Let's pop that down on the floor out of the camera. Okay, so we're just going to have a quick look at what you get inside of this brand new unit, as you can see. So I'm just going to break the security seals on here and open this up. So just give you some basic technical stats on this unit, and I've probably installed, not the NSA 3600, but probably installed about 1,500 Sonic Wall units over the last 15 years or so. So I've got fairly good experience of these in large data centers right down to small 2 or 3 user networks. The statistics on these are, I always tend to take the slowest speed published and take around about 1/3 of that as the true throughput. So on these, on the 3600 with all services turned on, the IMIX output, the rating is around about 1.6 gigabits a second. So my gut feeling is probably around about the 600 megasecond, maybe a little bit further, with all the services turned on, is what you're going to see as performance through one of these units. Now look, that is a very subjective view. That's my own personal view. If you don't turn on anti-spyware, you're going to see a lot faster throughput. And don't get caught out slightly on these. They have got a good number of switch ports, and if you're not careful and you've actually put in intrusion prevention or application control firewall rules between the ports, and you're using various VLANs, or you're letting your LAN traffic pass through this as well, then obviously that takes a big hit on it. So do make sure you get those balanced up right to get the best performance. Like I said, that's my own personal experience, but I would put this type of unit in for about 500 or 600 meg a second of full UTM, so Unified Threat Management, anti-spyware, content filtering, intrusion prevention, application control, all of your antivirus checking in real time. Those are heavy things. Capture as well, which is your ransomware protection. So that should give you an idea of what this unit's like. It's fairly heavy. Let's lift that up, bring it to the camera. So I think as a rough count, you've got 12 1 gig ports over here. No, over here, because I'm back to front on the camera. You've got 4 SFP ports. Now these are not SFP plus, these are SFP, so they're 1 gig ports. And then you have on this unit 2 10 gig SFPs. Are they SFPs or are they copper ports? No, they're SFPs, they're SFP pluses. So all good for copper. And then you've got your console port along there as well. Management port, sorry, is wherever I got my fingers here. Let's go a little bit further along. Here we go. Management port. So this allows you to have your own private network set up and still get to the web interface. And then obviously along there, you've got your console port for those type of command line access that you might want. Just turn that round. You've got side venting, but not a lot of side venting. Most of the venting is at the back there. You can see you've got 2 fans. You've only got a single power supply in. And do just bear in mind, obviously, that these network ports are at the front of the unit. Same with pretty much most firewalls that you buy. So you need to think about where this would likely be sitting in the rack, and your cooling would be the only thing. I'll say this about all the vendors, because obviously the air is being pushed out the back of this device. So ideally, most people would mount this at the back of a device, or back of a rack, because that's where all your network cables are, out of all your servers. But then you'll be doing the exhaust air back into the rack instead of out. So just bear that in mind, or maybe bring your cables to the front. So hopefully that's useful, at least to see what's in the box. Turn it all the way around so you can see the back and the front again. This is the SonicWall NSA 3600. This is one of the ones that's had the Dell badge taken off it after a recent acquisition. So hopefully that gives you everything you need. I'm Paul Sillars of Firewalls for Now and Firewall News. Hopefully that's been useful.